Mr. Wallace.
Yes?
Amy's awake now. She's had a terrible nightmare. She wants to see the baby.
What did you say?
I said I'd see what I could do. I didn't know what to say. I've got to tell her the truth.
All right, but you didn't say anything to her, right?
No, I wouldn't. I know you want to tell her. But, Mr. Wallace, you must.
Okay, I will, all right? Just give me a minute.
So the study's gonna be where it all happens, huh? Or where it all happens again, I should say. This is your big day, isn't it? Today you get to reveal to the world who was in the study waiting to kill Channing. Cruz Castillo is gonna solve the mystery at last.
That's the plan.
So what happens? You get the Ellery Queen Award? You get shot and killed?
Will you stop worrying about my getting hurt?
How can I? In my experience, real killers don't like to be revealed. They get very upset. What are you reading that is more important than what I'm talking about?
I'm going over everything I have on each person who paid a visit to Channing just before his death.
Your homework, I guess.
You could call it that, yeah.
There must have been a lot of them.
Quite a few.
But only one of them set a trap by sending him a message to come to the study. Someone lured him away from the party, away from the praise and adulation that he was getting, through the corridor to the study, to be killed.
Bang, bang! You're dead, Channing. Oh, it got me.
Brandon, where are you? Brandon!
I fooled you.
Sweetheart, you gave me the scare of my life. What are you doing?
I'm playing Channing Capwell.
But he's your... Sweetheart, get up. You mustn't play like that. You shouldn't even be in here.
Uncle Cece said I can sit at his desk.
Well, Brandon, just be careful. You don't want to break his chair. All right, all right.
I'm being important. Look, Mommy!
Oh, my God, get away from there. You never play with guns, you hear me? They're dangerous. People get hurt by guns.
Like Channing.
Just stay away from there. Go downstairs and get Uncle Cece. I want him to see this. Hello?
Am I catching you at a bad time?
Mason, no. What is it?
Well, I'm coming to Cruz's little gathering this evening, but I wanted to call ahead and see if you've done your pregnancy test yet.
Well, I started it. I should know the results for a little while.
Oh, good. I'll be right over then. I think I should be there to share in the blessed event, don't you think?
You know something? I hate your arrogance. And I'm glad my signature on that paper is not legal. It serves you right.
Well, that's another reason I want to come over, actually, to rectify that little mistake.
It's over here!
See you
What's he
later.
so excited about?
A gun! A gun! I found a gun!
What?
Now, why are you leaving something like that around here when there's a child in the house?
A gun?
See?
Come over here. Gina, I don't have any idea how that got there. That's where it used to be kept, but someone took it a while back. It's been missing for weeks.
It's terribly dangerous to have that here, Cece.
Is that the same gun that killed Channing?
Brandon.
Well, that's all right, Gina. He's heard about it so much. I don't know, son, maybe. I think maybe you should run along and play for a while, all right?
Okay.
Wait a minute, sweetheart. I'll go with you.
Cece, it's frightening when he talks like that.
I know. We're so used to having him around that we sometimes forget to watch what we say in front of him.
Well, you should.
I know. But that gun should never have been left in an unlocked drawer. I'm going to see if Cruz knows anything about this.
Hello.
Cruz, this is Cece.
Hi, Mr. C. What can I do for you?
Brandon was just playing at my desk, and he found a gun in a top drawer that was unlocked. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, sir, I do. I put it there, but it wasn't loaded.
Even so, why did you do it?
It's part of the window dressing, Mr. C.
Where did you find it? I thought it disappeared. You never told me that you'd recovered it.
Well, that's not the gun that was there before. It's a duplicate. You see, I want everything to be the way it was in that room when I recreate the crime this evening. I'm going to duplicate the scene of Channing's death just as closely as I can.
There you are, you rascal. What is this? I give birth to a baby and you lose all interest in me, huh?
Honey, you shouldn't be out of bed.
Listen, I've been thinking about names, and I think we ought to go find the baby and decide on the name for him, okay? Which way's the
No,
nursery?
no, look, I think you just better get back into bed, okay?
No,
Honey,
no,
you just
no.
sit
If
down.
they won't bring him to me, then Mohammed goes to the mountain, huh?
Just sit down.
What do you think about Clarence? Huh? No. You like John? I once told my mama I'd name him after my father. I think it would make her really happy. I think it's really important what you saddle a child with, don't you? Do you like the name John?
John's a good name.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what's wrong? I can't stand this any longer. I ask about him and the nurses get evasive. Okay. Is he sick? Is something else wrong with him? Look, you can tell me. I want to know why they won't bring him to me.
Honey, I tried to tell you this last night, but I didn't know how.
Something's wrong with him, huh? Okay. Whatever it is, I can handle it. What I can't handle is not knowing.
Your baby's dead.
How's the baby doing?
He slept off and on through the night.
Well, that's all right. What about nourishment?
She's giving him a bottle now. Everything's fine, Doctor. Nothing for you to worry about.
This is the most perfect child in all the world.
Oh, mon Dieu.
We did everything medical science could do to save him. Poor little fellow.
Boy, I'm so sorry. This is awful.
Yes, it is.
Poor Amy. I wish Mom were here. This is gonna kill her. How's Amy taking it?
Well, you can go in a little while, see for yourselves.
Well, can I go in now?
Well, her friend Brick is with her at the moment, but you can go in next.
That's okay. We know him.
Oh, I realize that, but I don't want Amy to get tired. She had a long, difficult labor, and she has to regain her strength now, and that means rest and quiet.
All right. We'll wait till you say it's all right. Poor Amy. She wanted this baby so much.
Oh, I know
She went through so much to have it. It's not fair.
No, I know.
Whoever said life was fair?
I heard him. I saw him. He's not dead. My baby's not dead. You take it back.
Please.
You take it back.
Amy. Please. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Please, you have got to stay calm. Now, I know what a terrible experience this is for you, but unfortunately these things happen. There were unexpected complications, but we did our very best to counteract them.
Oh, prepare her arm.
No. What are you doing?
Now, this is just a little something to calm you down, Amy. That's
Calm
all.
down. You tell me what happened to my baby.
Excuse me, Mr. Wallace. Amy. I was worried that something like this would happen ever since I first took your case. You knew there was a physical problem. I just didn't want to upset you by telling you where it might lead. But that's why I kept such a very close eye on you. And why I went to such lengths to find you and help you deliver your baby.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense. A respiratory problem, I heard my baby cry. It sounded like a perfectly healthy cry. Oh, Brick, you saw my baby. You said he looked healthy.
I held him. He was okay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I wanted this baby so much. I would have loved him very much. He looked so healthy. I was so sure.
Well, she'll sleep now for a few hours.
It's killing her.
Yes, I know. I'm so sorry.
Look, you said you took the baby out of the hospital?
Yes, well, he couldn't receive proper treatment here. He needed a place with neonatal ICU, and they just can't provide that here. Believe me, Mr. Wallace, I had only the best interests of the baby at heart. I'm sorry.
kid.
Hey, how is she?
Well, the doctor gave her a sedative. She went out like a light. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jade, she's gonna need all the love we can give her now, okay?
Why don't you go someplace and rest? We were gonna visit her. I want to sit with her for a while.
I'm just gonna... I don't want to sleep. I'm just gonna sit down here. I got some thinking to do, okay?
Santana.
Mama.
You're the first one to arrive, beloved.
Well, I have a uniform to get into.
I have it laid out for you upstairs. Are you all right, dear?
Sure. I'm just not looking forward to any of this today.
I know. It's very strange for all this to be going on. Making everything look the way it was that day.
Santana, hello.
Hello, Cece. Could I have a minute with you alone? There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
Of course, I have a quick call to make, and I'll be right with you.
It is true, Santana. When it came time to test that relationship, Channing failed. He gave your baby away. He sold you and your baby right down the river.
Because he had to.
Because he wanted to. Because he was weak. Too weak to tell you that he couldn't ever have anything permanent with you, that you were just a roll in the hay.
You were so determined, aren't you? To make me something less than you. To make the time that I had and the feelings that I had and the feelings that he had for me something that just disappears underneath a microscope. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. But I had a loss too.
You dare compare that to what Channing and I had?
Yes, I dare. How is this so different? I mean, we were both his secrets. So who are you to tell me that your love is better than mine?
Santana?
I'm sorry, what?
I said I was ready to talk to you. Why don't we go into the study where we can be private?
Sure, that'll be fine. I was just on my way upstairs.
Santana wants to talk to me. We'll be in the study for a few minutes.
I see. Wonderful.
Cruz, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Santana and I would like to talk for a few minutes. Would you and Eden excuse us?
Sure, I'm just about set up here.
You're certainly being very precise about all this.
Yeah, well, like I told you before, I want everything to be as close as it can be. By the way, Mr. C, I'd appreciate it if you'd reopen Channing Jr.'s room for me today.
No, Cruz, not that.
I wouldn't ask if it wasn't necessary.
It's not just opening a room. It's going to be opening old wounds and reviving memories that I don't want to think about anymore.
I understand that, and I'm sorry, but it's really important. In fact, I need to look at it right now if I could.
All right, if it's essential to the investigation.
I really think it is, just for today. And then we can be finished with this whole thing once and for all.
All right.
Ah, Gina.
Oh, dear.
I'm not too late for the crucial moment, am I?
No, you're not too late. The test hasn't developed yet.
Ah, good. My timing remains impeccable. Tell me, how is the mood in the house today? Is everyone getting dressed and ready for Cruz's little three-ring circus?
They're all tense and uneasy, if that's what you're talking about.
Ooh, I'll just bet they are. Adrenaline pumping through every vein. Nothing like the threat of exposure to rejuvenate tired blood, is there?
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't had the experience too often.
Outside of a few brief biblical moments with me in the ambulance, you mean? Where is our pregnancy test, anyway? Tucked safely away in my bathroom?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, never fear. I guaranteed that I'd get you pregnant, and I'm good enough to live up to that guarantee.
And you're also very conceited. Come on, let's go check it out.
Let's do.
What do you think of the goings-on at the Capitol House?
Well, ostensibly, the real killer of Channing Jr. is about to be exposed.
Cruz Castillo is in charge, yes?
In fact, he's arranged the entire thing. I'm surprised you heard about it. I don't know whether I'd expect it to go the way he wants it, though. Clever plans don't always have clever ends.
I know young Channing called you over the day before the party.
Your memory's altogether too good, Mother.
He was going to expose your affair with Sophia, wasn't he?
How did you know that?
Oh, I know a lot, Lionel. It makes me sick. I know that you and Sophia used to meet in the tunnel.
Did Augusta tell you that?
I know that you and Sophia knew one another before she married C.C., and that you went on seeing her afterward. Channing was going to expose all of that.
Mother, why haven't you ever told me that you knew all this? I mean, we should have talked about all this. Did you know all this before Channing was killed?
Oh, yes.
I'm surprised that you didn't get an invitation to this little party today.
Well, I did. But I'm not going.
Why not?
Personal reasons.
Mother.
I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. I didn't kill anybody. Oh, there were times when I could have, but I didn't.
I think what you're doing is grisly.
Maybe, but it's accurate.
That's what's grisly about it.
Excuse me. You wanted to see me, Cruz?
Oh, yeah. Rosa, would you make sure that the tables with food in the atrium are set up exactly the way they were the evening of Channing's party? And I'd like to see the same flowers, if possible, arranged in the same manner.
I'm doing my best, dear, but it's a tall order.
Okay.
My memory isn't that exact.
I know. Just do your best. And what is it? Oh, the banner that said "Congratulations, Channing" on it. Do we still have that?
We never throw anything away, dear. I'm sure it's down in the basement someplace.
Good. If you could find it, I'd like you to bring it up. I'll put it up. And Philip, would you ask him to use the same silver tray that he used that day to take the message to Channing?
Of course.
Thank you.
Cruz, don't you think you're being a little ridiculous about this? What difference does it make about a silver tray?
Excuse me.
Darling, listen to me. I think you should let Cruz do what he wants to do. I don't know why he's doing all this, but it seems right to me. Already this house is starting to take on the feeling of 1979. It's almost as if the clocks are being turned back.
That room. It's happy times in that room with Channing. And now going in there, it's like calling on a ghost.
Channing's still alive to me. He's still flesh and blood.
I have a different perspective on things now.
You said some things yesterday. I am not happy with what you implied.
I just think I'm ready to face a lot of truths that I ran from when I was younger.
What sort of truths?
I want to know what Channing said to you when he told you he'd gotten me pregnant.
I'll never forget that day. I was astonished, frankly, at how much poise he had. Of course, I shouldn't have been. Channing's always been able to admit his mistakes and take steps to correct them.
It wasn't a mistake. Is that the way you're looking at Brandon? He was a child born out of our love.
Santana, you wanted to hear about that day. I thought you were ready to listen.
All right. Go on.
Well, he was willing to do whatever I thought was best. But he had a plan of his own. He thought it through thoroughly.
Did either one of you think to ask me how I felt about it?
Channing thought he knew how you felt. He said that you would understand at whatever decision he and I made.
Oh, I loved him so much I would have done anything he asked me.
Well, he wanted the baby to be born, and he left it up to me to make the necessary arrangements to have it adopted afterwards.
Wait a minute. When Channing told me about the adoption, he said it was your idea.
No, it was his. And so was Acapulco. He felt it was necessary for you to leave town before you began to show so that no one would ever believe that you were pregnant. I just took care of the details.
Like booking a flight and making hospital arrangements?
Yes. Oh, he had very well planned. I was impressed. But that was a hard time for Channing. And he handled it like a man. He saved you a lot of embarrassment, too.
Embarrassment? You must have been very pleased at how he disposed of his little servant girl.
Now, Santana, you solicited this conversation. I thought you wanted to know the truth.
That is not the truth. The truth is what Channing said.
Well, maybe your memory isn't quite clear.
My memory is very clear. But what you are saying means that Channing was a liar, a complete liar. He said that you made all of the arrangements. He didn't tell either one of us the truth.
think we can take a peek?
No, let's give it the full time.
All right. Isn't suspense fun? Isn't fun just the best thing to have?
I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this whole thing.
Oh, do you? Why?
Because I hate your arrogance, and that makes me want the test to come out negative. And on the other hand, I want to be pregnant, so I'm hoping we succeed. Also, I never, ever want to have to go through anything like that again.
Ah, well, you could try frigidity.
It's not funny.
No, I don't think you could pull it off anyway. You're much too passionate a woman for that. In spite of what you say, Gina, I know that you enjoyed our little moment together. In fact, I dare say you haven't had a thrill like that in quite some time.
In an ambulance, of all places.
Mm-hmm. Next time, I thought I'd try to get a fire truck.
There will be no next time, no matter how this test turns out.
Well, in that case, I guess I'd better get your signature on this while I can. It's a new set of papers making me trustee of Brandon's inheritance. You can just sign on the dotted line.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to sign anything. This time, my dear, you've been had.
What I wanted, all I ever wanted was to keep my son and raise him. If Channing didn't want anyone to know he was the father, I would have kept it a secret. But he didn't discuss that with me. He said you made all of the arrangements. It was what you wanted. You may have admired his bravery in making arrangements, but he was a downright coward when it came to telling me that he was responsible for it. He also said that you didn't want him to see me anymore.
To be honest with you, I was upset when I found out what was going on between you. You were too young. Channing was too young. I told him so. But he had no trouble with the idea of staying away from you. He knew how I felt, and he was willing to make that sacrifice for me.
Sacrifice for you? Oh, isn't that just wonderful? I never loved anybody before or after Channing. I had never even been with a man before him. When Channing told me he loved me, it was the happiest day of my life. And the night that we spent together, he said that if we happened to make a baby, that we would raise it and love it together. I always thought Channing was going to be there to take care of me.
Santana, I think Channing took very good care of you.
Don't you see? Oh, God, he never loved me at all. He just told me all of that so I would go to bed with him. He lied to me and he used me just like he used everybody else. I was just so blind in love with him that I couldn't see it.
Santana, now you asked for this. I think the truth is that you deliberately seduced him to get yourself pregnant, to hold something over him. I think you wanted to force him to marry you.
Is that what Channing told you?
Yes, he told the truth.
No, he didn't! Damn you, Cece, and damn Channing! He lied. I loved him. But I don't love him anymore. I hate him. I hate every memory of him. I hate every time we spent together. Channing deserved to die.
Your mother?
Oh, thank you. Did you really think I was capable of murder? Your own mother?
I didn't say that, Mother. I think anyone who's pushed to the absolute limits is capable of murder.
Oh, I'd do anything to protect my family. And I hated what Channing was going to threaten to do. But I wasn't pushed to murder.
Well, I don't think any one of us felt that threatened. Lucky, I guess.
Did you ever consider killing him?
It's an odd way to put it. Not want to or feel capable of it, but considering.
Did you?
I was willing to take my chances, Mother. You know me, I always felt that I could beat any man at his own game. I don't think Channing Jr. was any exception to that.
Why did you fall in love with Sophia?
Who was it that said, by our first strange and fatal interview, by all desires which thereof ensued, we met. How did you fall in love with Dad?
Oh, because he was everything that I admired and wanted. My one great love. But we never hurt anybody. Now you knew, and Sophia knew, that someday there would have to be a reckoning.
We just couldn't help ourselves, Mother. It was as if it had to be. That's not what's happening now. Let's forget the dim and prehistoric past, huh?
It has been written what you and Sophia did. And today, the past is going to be the present.
Cruz's little party. Yeah, we're gonna relive the past. And it's gonna be painful.
The one that worries me most is Santana. I'm sure she's gonna try to take Brandon away from me somehow.
Oh, she said she won't.
You think I trust her?
Well, no, Gina, you don't trust anybody. I think that's a serious character defect. But in lieu of trust, you can take comfort in the fact that Santana can't take Brandon away as long as you've got Cece. As the Emperor's new wife, you're safe and secure.
I won't be the Emperor's wife for long if I don't get pregnant.
Well, the farthest you can fall is concubine. That's not too far from favor.
I can't stand this anymore. Let's check out the test. It must be ready by now.
Oh, good. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning.
Look! It's positive. I'm pregnant.
Well, so you are. Not quite Mother Russia, but it's a step in the right direction.
Oh, Mason. Mason, you did it.
No, we did it, Gina.
Thank you. Mason?
I'm sorry, Gina. I know I'm not supposed to covet my father's wife, but I like you.
Well, I like you, too.
Then what say, Kate? Clap hands and make a bargain? Come on, why don't you sign the agreement and keep your end of the bargain? After all, I can't take Brandon's money away from him. All I can do is manage it for him and make the right investments.
Is that why you told me you liked me? Because you wanted to soften me up before you made your pitch?
No, of course not, Gina. I do like you, but I'd like you a lot more if you kept your word. Then I'd know I could trust you.
You won't take Brandon's money?
I couldn't if I wanted to. Besides, Gina, I love Brandon. And I want us to be friends.
Friends?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mason, I'll sign it.
Well, good, thank you. It's right over here. It means a lot to me, Gina. You didn't have to do that.
I know, but you made me happy. I thought I could return the favor. You really helped me, Mason.
Gina,
No, let me finish. You kept my lie a secret, and then you turned it into the truth. And I think that's wonderful.
Yes, Gina.
Yes?
Well, now that we're friends and allies, I have a confession to make, a gesture to prove to you that you can trust me, too.
What is it?
Gina, you were pregnant before we made love.
What?
Yeah, I monkeyed around with your first pregnancy test.
You did what?
I changed the positive test to negative. I used Brandon's chemistry set to do it. It was the act of a scoundrel, Gina, and I'm writhing in guilt and remorse. But it did bring us closer together in
You
more ways.
changed my test?
Well, yes, Gina, but it's nothing to get that
You're
upset.
a lying, unscrupulous... You son of a... You did all of that just to get your father's wife into bed and to steal my son's money?
Well, now, Gina, let's not lose
If I
control.
had an axe, I'd...
Gina, Gina, nope. Yeah.
Hello?
Rick, it's Mrs. Lockridge. I heard the awful news. I've been concerned about Amy and the baby.
Oh, thank you for calling, Mrs. Lockridge. That's very nice of you.
How is Amy?
Well, physically she's okay. You know, she's taken it pretty hard. That's really hard.
I'm so dreadfully sorry.
See, the thing is, look, I know you think I know you think you're probably I'm crazy, okay? But I got this feeling that the baby isn't dead. That's all.
What?
Oh, look, maybe the whole thing was just a horrible mistake, okay? You know how they get those X-rays mixed up, something like that. That's all.
Oh, Rick.
Look, the whole thing is stupid, okay? The baby was perfect. The whole delivery was perfect. Look, I don't understand it, okay? I'm sorry, Mrs. Lockridge. I just can't believe it. That's all. I'm okay. I'm tired, and look, I appreciate your calling. I'll tell Amy that you called, okay? And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Well, there you are, Wallace. I just wanted you to know that Amy is doing just fine, and she'll be able to go home in a day or two. She's young, healthy. She'll have all kinds of babies in the future.
We don't want future babies. We want this one.
Yes, well, I wish it were in my power to bring him back, but you have to think of what's ahead, Try to concentrate on that. Goodbye.
Ricky, he's so upset I don't know what to do.
Look, I don't know what's going on around here, but there's something wrong, and I know it.
Please get out of my way, Gina. I have to go home for a little while.
I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something so later on you can't say I didn't warn you. From now on, you leave Brandon alone, or else I'll poison his mind against you.
What?
Yes, I'll tell him how you use people, how you tried to use me and Cece, how you tried to use Mason. I'll tell him how you lied to me. And there are a lot of things I can say to him to turn him against you. And if you try coming around here anymore, I'll just tell him more about you. You understand? I mean it.
You do anything like that, and it will be the sorriest day of your life. You have no idea what I will do to you when I put my mind to it. Now you get out of my way, Gina, and you stay out of it.
We just have to get dressed, Sophia, and then we'll be back.
All right, I think everything in the house is about ready. Oh, Cruz, incidentally, that night, I was disguised as Dominic. Do you need me to go through all that again?
No, I don't need the disguise, but I would like you to wear the same clothes you wore that day. And gloves. You wore gloves, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Mom, he's gone crazy.
Eden, just let me do this thing my way, will you?
Try and stop you mean?
Do you two have any new plans for your wedding?
As a matter of fact, yes, we're getting married tomorrow.
You are? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow? That's great. The sooner the better. I'm so happy for you. And no matter what happens tonight, don't let anything stop you.
C'est épouvantable. Poor baby, never even had a chance at life. This doesn't make any sense. Any of this.
Maybe it was just meant to be.
Oh, on top of everything else that's happened to my family. Why this?
Jade, you can't ask that kind of question. I mean, who knows why a mother loses a child that she wants to have more than anything in the world? A different mother gets a kid she can't even take care of. A kid she doesn't even want.
Can't imagine a mother like that.
There are plenty of them out there. You gotta talk to some of the girls I've met on the streets and hear their stories. Look, all I'm saying is you have to trust in yourself and don't expect anything from anybody else. Because you are the only one that you can really count on.
No, I don't think that's true.
I'm just telling you what I know. I've been on my own for a long time. I'm doing just fine. The real mistake is letting someone get close to you.
My family's very important to me. My mother and my sister and my brother and my father when they were alive. I don't know what I would have done without them.
I feel the same about my family, too. Well, maybe they're okay for you. But I don't need a family. And I've been just fine without one.
They're holding the baby overnight in a motel room in Santa Barbara, waiting for the plane to come.
You've done a good job.
I told you there'd be no problem once I got in the delivery room.
I'm going to be on the plane with the baby. I'm going to stay with it till it's safely delivered to its final destination. I don't want to take any chances.
Good. I think that's best.
By the way, is it a boy or a girl?
A boy.
All the better. As a matter of fact, that makes it just about perfect as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you three can go back in and visit with her for a while if you want to. She's much quieter.
Thanks, Dr. Renfro. Come on, we gotta help her somehow.
Don't say anything too depressing, okay?
Dr. Renfro, just a minute.
Yes, what is it, Wallace?
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question.
Oh, well, can it wait? I'm inside.
No, it can't wait.
Oh, very well. Then what is it?
I'd like to know why a big-time doctor like you took over Amy's case in the first place. I mean, just kind of showed up and took over. Then you follow us up here for the delivery. I mean, I would think a, big-time doctor like you wouldn't even want to bother with an unimportant delivery like that.
No baby is unimportant in my eyes.
Yeah, you spout that kind of philosophy, but somehow, it doesn't ring true.
Just what exactly are you accusing me of, Wallace? Concern for a patient? Giving freely of my time, my money, and yes, my reputation to give help to someone who I believe needed my help?
Oh, come on. Listen, I've been around a long time. Nobody does anything for nothing. Why should you be the exception?
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I'll try to correct that in the future. Perhaps you would have had more faith in me if I demanded payment in advance.
Look, don't do numbers on me, okay, guy? I would have had a lot more faith in you if you would have been straight with Amy and me all along.
When have I been anything else?
A, when you took the baby out of this hospital without getting permission or telling anyone. That's right, I asked around, guy. And 2, there were no papers filed anywhere, nowhere. Therefore, the baby was taken out of this hospital secretly. Now, I want to know why.
It was no secret. Time was of the essence. I happen to believe more in human life than I do in snap-out forms.
Yeah, and there's something else. Why haven't you ever billed Amy? From the beginning, not once.
Because I don't charge people for my help who obviously can't afford it. Now, look here, if you have some question about my ethics, young man, I suggest you take it up with the licensing board. And if you doubt my generosity, I suggest you look into your own cynicism. Now, you wanted to ask one question, you've asked 10. Well, I have no more time to spend justifying myself to or being insulted by some underpaid chauffeur whose parents were circus performers.
Hey, wait a minute. How'd you know about that, huh? I hate that guy. I hate all of this. I'm gonna find out what's going on.
You look very handsome, darling.
Thank you.
Just be glad I didn't have to wear what I was wearing in 1979. I had terrible taste. I bet you always had wonderful taste.
Kiss and tell me.
Yes, I was right. Why are you frowning? Is it something Santana said?
I am angry with her, but I'm worried about today.
Are you afraid of what might come out?
I have a sense of trouble about today, a kind of foreboding.
Well, after today, I am going to make you forget about your troubles. I will devote myself to making you the happiest man, a proud father of beautiful babies.
Santana said things about Channing today that were out-and-out lies. I was outraged, and I couldn't believe them.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised that they came from Santana. Sometimes she's not very nice. When she shows her true colors, she can be downright hateful.
Good. Good, a nice day's work. Because it's not going to do me any good if Cruz... Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. I'm not going back over to that house this evening. Oh, Singer, what are you doing here?
Hello, Mr. Capwell. May I ask where you're headed?
Well, you can ask, but it's none of your business.
Well, I'm afraid it is this time.
Oh?
Yeah, Cruz Castillo told me to make sure I got you to the Capwells this evening on time, even if it meant I had to handcuff you and drive you there myself.
I see. Good old trusting Cruz. Well, I don't think anything that drastic will be necessary, Singer. Keep standing watch. Carry on. I'm glad God gave us windows.
Yeah, well, you were very kind to call, Mr. Lee.
I can't tell you how shocked I was to hear about Amy's baby. I just wanted to tell Amy to take as much time off as she likes. I know what you both must be going through. Anyway, her job will be waiting for her whenever she feels ready to come back to it.
Well, she'll appreciate it.
You'll tell her right away?
Yes?
Good. Well, I wish there was more I could do.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell her you called, and thanks again, huh?
Mr. Wallace.
Yes?
I'm Nurse Bailey, dear. I was in the operating room when Dr. Renfro took over and delivered your friend's baby.
Oh?
Could we talk?
Sure, yeah.
Over here. We've got to make this short.
Okay.
I have seen any number of babies with hyaline membrane disease, and I can tell you that there isn't a chance that your baby had it. In fact, it seemed to me that your baby was perfectly sound.
I don't understand. What...
I am saying that I don't think your baby is necessarily dead. If Dr. Renfro lied about his condition, then he might have lied about that, too.
God.
I shouldn't be here. Please don't tell anybody that I've said these things to you. I just think that someone ought to take this whole thing and look into it.
Well, don't leave yet. Listen, that's really important to me, okay? Thank you. You've helped me a lot. Dear God, is it possible? Is it possible Amy's baby is alive?
I don't know why you just don't get everybody into one room, point out who the killer is, and have the police take them off to jail.
I can't. The truth won't come out that way. It has to be done the way I'm doing it.
You know, you already have one fly in your ointment. You weren't there on July 30th, 1979 when Channing was killed.
You think that's news to me?
Well, if you're there this time, you might upset the dynamics, as one police inspector said.
No.
No? Is that all you're going to say?
Yeah, you see, I'm going to be playing a very important part in all this. The starring role, in fact.
Oh, really? And what's that?
I'm going to be standing in for Channing Capwell Jr.